we go. All right. So, placing my hands on my heart, taking that breath of love and gratitude. So grateful and thankful for this time to come together, to be the two or more who are gathered in the name and the nature of love. Grateful for our willingness to let go of anything that came before this moment and allow us to set aside anything that is supposed to come after this study group session, knowing that we will easily and effortlessly be able to pick it up again if it is ours to do so. We're grateful to be dedicated, to be devoted to remembering the truth of our being, which is unconditional love, pure innocence, complete wholeness, abundance, joy, the all good. We are claiming it for ourselves right here and right now. We are grateful for our mighty companions that walk with us and talk with us and inspire us on this journey. We ask that they bless all who are here, all who may listen later. And we are grateful to receive all of their inspiration, all of their wisdom with open hearts and open minds. We are great receivers of the all good, and we're grateful to be able to share the benefits of all that we receive and all that we are with Mother Earth and all her beings, because we are one. In grace and gratitude, we let it be, and so it is. Amen. So, we have, we're continuing in chapter 11, God or the Ego. And we are in section 4, God's Blameless Son, which I just found completely hysterical because I accidentally posted the wrong title for this section. And Kathleen caught it. And I'm like, okay, whoops, I'm blameless, so whatever. I just thought it was hysterical. So I think I'm going to start with paragraph 4, where he says, only you can deprive yourself of anything. Do not oppose this realization, for it is truly the beginning of the dawn of light. Remember also that denial of this simple fact takes many forms, and these you must learn to recognize and oppose steadfastly and without exception. This is a crucial step in the reawakening. The beginning phase of this reversal are often quite painful. For as blame is withdrawn from without, there is a strong tendency to harbor it within. It is difficult at first to realize that this is exactly the same thing, for there is no distinctions between within and without. If your brothers are part of you and you blame them for your deprivation, you are blaming yourself. And you cannot blame yourself without blaming them. And then just that very first line in 5, that is why blame must be undone, not reallocated. And I can think of so many times when I blamed outside circumstances for what was happening or not happening the way that I thought it should be happening in my life. Starting with when I first started my counseling business in 2014, and then my father passed away 6 months later, and I was taking care of Rudy, who was dealing with being on dialysis, and my mother, who had just had major heart surgery and dementia. And so a lot of the momentum that I had with my business kind of came to a standstill. And so like I could completely blame that. And, I did for a time. And then I thought, when I finally realized what I was doing, when I was through with that grieving process, or at least in a space where I could see more clearly, then I started blaming myself, like all the time that I wasted blaming this situation, and realizing that the actual thing that was sucking the life out of my work was the fact that I was blaming, and then blaming myself for doing that, like wasting time, which time is not real, so there is no such thing. And that's just like one incident, where I've had that same lesson. So I feel like I'm done with that pattern of having something getting going and being really excited and enthusiastic about it, and then having some kind of seeming outside tragedy out of my control stop that momentum, and blaming the whatever tragedy and then blaming myself. I feel like I've done that enough times already, and I'm pretty much done with that. So that's kind of where this section took my mind. The whole section was in that vein. So that's where I'm starting us off with. Go ahead, Carla. It won't let you unmute. Hang on. If I ask you to unmute, will it do it?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's so interesting how where we've come is where all these thoughts come to us and we think they're our thoughts. But if they're not loving, if it's not kind, it's not us. It's just a thought that is offered to us and we can choose it or not. And so we I have believed this for a long time. And I still experience it where, because I'm cold a lot, because the thermostat is always at 75, so the heater never comes on. And um, I notice myself getting upset and blaming, and I'm creating the false self, because all we truly are is love. And so I am creating something that isn't even real or true. And the line that comes to me is, so I wrote a poem, and that poem says, it's called I Like You, but it's really me. I like the true me, the real me. And that's, for a long time I did, because I thought it was me not liking myself, but really it was, we call it ego or whatever. It was something not real, liking the real. And so, and what really can raise paragraph 6, line 2 says, but love yourself with the love of Christ. For so does your Father love you. And I think the poem I wrote was about something else, but it's really about me. So I'll read it to you. It's called I Like You. I like you. I like how you are. I like that I know how you are, but you surprise me again and again. I like how you truly are, how I truly am. I like that you teach me how to be, how to be loved everyone fully. And that is all you teach. Just when I think I know love incredibly, I learn more from you. How to love even more deeply. I like you. I learn from you're teaching me how to act, how to be, that upset is not helpful. That even someone that seems so unlovable is lovable. I'll learn from you what you enjoy, what to enjoy, and to only enjoy. I love to love you, and you love the simplest of things and enjoy everything, even that doesn't seem so enjoyable. I like, I like me. And that never ends, never. And that and then the next moment, another experience. I I it's like a hug without the physical action. So I asked myself, they're saying that very moment I was leaving a hotel room and someone passed me and seemed like she was a big woman. And the mind tells me stuff like she's overweight and she doesn't even look at me. She didn't say hi. She just went, and the mind tells me all this stuff. And what came me is that loving? And the answer was no. So it's not true. So it's not something I want to choose. In every moment of every day, giving me that opportunity to choose until I choose it more and more full, until that's all I choose. Thank you. I can't mute myself again.
I'll do it. Thanks, Carla. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share that they got from the section or that has happened in their life since the last time they were here? Go ahead, Priscilla.
Oh, hi, everyone. Um, I think this particular group doesn't know that my husband had an accident
Oh,
like 10 days ago. Yeah. And it wasn't his bicycle and he broke his wrist and he had to have emergency surgery.
oh my gosh.
And yeah, it has been a little bit hectic here, a little bit crazy. But talking about blame, the thing is that it was a miracle informed. There was a miracle informed because he slipped in one of the tram rails, and this is like a very big avenue with like 8 lines crossing,
Oh, wow.
and not a single tram was in it. So the people that helped him out, they were like, "Oh my gosh, this never happens because there's always a tram coming, and
Yeah.
no trams, no cars, no anything, just the people there helping him." So very grateful for the invisible and visible help. We have been very supported. And yeah, it was a little bit shocking because, well, a lot of my fears came to life that day. Like, okay, so your little family is alone in a foreign country, and now you're receiving a call from a hospital, which we know how it is.
Yeah.
Everything has been, yeah, it has been. I think that everything unfolded in the most loving way, I can tell you. And yeah, but with this part of the blame, it has been interesting because he's obviously incapacitated, so he's staying here at home, and he was very quiet, thinking nothing. But then I asked him like, "Where are you?" So because he was completely looking at his hand, and he was like, "Oh man, I cannot believe that I become this clumsy," and I could feel that he was very upset about it. And I don't know why. The only thing that I could ask him was like, "Would you be happier if a car hit you or the tram so you can blame
Right.
somebody else?"
Wow.
And but it was very open and honest because that's the way we roll. We say like kind of like ridiculous thoughts out loud and then we laugh. And he was like, "I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, it will be easier to blame someone else.
Oh, wow.
Clumsiness. Like it will be
Yeah.
easier if someone push you and you just fall down the
Yeah.
stairs and not like you trip on your own or you choke on your own stupid saliva. Like it's easier when somebody
Right.
else." And of course, he knows I'm doing all this, A Course in Miracles, and we talk about the one mind and how there's no you and me, that because we are. But it's very, very interesting how at this level of the form, it's still easier to blame someone else.
Yeah.
And since he couldn't, because I tell you, thank God, thank the miracle in form, no cars, no tram, no one, blaming on the eyes, I guess, because he was icy that day. And now he's like searching for a target. And so he blamed himself. And then, yeah, we stop right there. It's like, baby, no, we cannot do that because this is an accident. Accidents are not planned. That's why they're called accidents. And I think the kinder thought here will be just like, you know, forgive yourself because you're not clumsy or anything. And I think this holds also to I am 100% responsible for what I see because
Mhm.
sometimes when we are in this Course in Miracles world, we tend to be so unkind to ourselves because now we know that I am responsible for what I see, and but we do it with from guilt.
Mhm.
And so that was the other lesson from me. It's I am responsible, but I'm not tolerating any guilt around it. I'm going to use this experience just to choose again, and that's it. That's what it is for. So yeah, I absolutely agree 100%. And that's how I live in it. Blame must be undone. And I am willing to participate in that experiment. And he's doing so much better now. And yeah, I think he's been kinder to himself. Like, yeah. Yeah, we talk about it, how his thoughts have been kind of like a stoic. So he's like, well, this is what life is throwing, and let's work with it. The poker hand is how he calls it. Well, those are the cards that they dealt me now, and I'm gonna play with this. So no worries. But very, very interesting the way that ego tricks us into think that if we cannot blame anyone else, we need to blame ourselves. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm just knowing that all of the lessons encoded in this experience are already being revealed to you both, and that all is well. All is well. Thank you for sharing that, Priscilla. Anybody else? Excuse me. Well, I can also, I was drawn to paragraph 7, line 3, where he says, "For Christ is the Son of God who lives in his Creator and shines with his glory. Christ is the extension of the love and the loveliness of God, as perfect as his Creator and at peace with him." And that just felt so sweet and tender and just lovely. But I was really drawn to the word in. Christ is the Son of God who lives in his Creator. Because we're always talking about how we are just thoughts in the mind of God who have never left their source. And I think this is one of the first times that I have noticed it in the course, where he's basically telling us we have never left our Creator. We are still living in the Creator. So none of this is real. But man, it feels so real sometimes. It really does. And I'm grateful that it's not. I'm grateful that it's not. And it also brings to mind, I think it was Ernest Holmes, Jennifer quotes frequently about the time that it takes to have a healing is the time that it takes to have a realization. So it can be instantaneous. So yeah, I'm just I don't know, it just sat very deep in me when I read that today. Yeah, I liked it.
Well, I think
Anybody else?
for Linda, for this section, I'll jump in, I guess. I have a couple parts here where I just wrote on the side, like a sidebar, the oneness that is us. And then I wrote that for in number 4 when he just wrote, it is difficult to at first to realize that this is exactly the same thing, for there is no distinction between within and without. If
Mm-hmm.
your brothers are part of you and you blame them for your deprivation, you are blaming yourself, and you can't blame yourself without blaming them. So that just goes to like the oneness that is us. And then it piggies on part 5. Um, you can't enter God's presence if you attack his son. When his son lifts his voice in praise, you will hear his voice of his father. But this is the sentence that I wrote. He says, "But the Creator cannot be praised without his Son, for their glory is shared and they are glorified together." And he capitalized they and their.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote, "We are him and him is us"
Yeah.
on the side. So it just all goes to in this chapter anyway, of the oneness that is us and him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's just a oneness. We're not any, but we just look at ourselves as different. He's basically saying, no, we're not. We're all like Christ is you and you are Christ, and I am him and he is us. I don't want to say me because then that makes me solo.
Mm-hmm.
But if I say us, that's everybody
The
because
collective, yeah.
he's talking about the all. So again, in 7, Christ waits for your acceptance of him as yourself as and his wholeness as yours. It's the same. That's the same as what he just said in 5 and 6 and 4.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, when I first started reading this section, excuse me, the first paragraph, even like I couldn't help but let my mind wander to the incident that happened in Minnesota the last week, with the ICE agent who shot and killed Brene Good, and thinking to myself, like, can I still love both of those people? It's easy to love her because she seems like she is the victim of what happened. But can I even love that ICE agent who was, even still after he shot and killed her, still yelling hateful things at her? Because it's like, if we are one, then he too is my brother in the mind of God, worthy of love. And if everything is only love, then that was only a cry for love from both parties, from both parties. And so it is my responsibility to love both parties, because both parties are me. Since we are one. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Carla.
I can do it now.
Oh, you got it.
So it's I don't think it's about loving the person. It's about loving the soul within the person. It's not about loving the action. It's about just loving. It's really, because in is the soul, out is the person,
But
right?
I don't know. He's saying there is no within or without.
Well, that's true. That is, I'm sorry, Sam misspoke. That is the hard part, because it's really the world, right? Believes this, and so, and we're all one. So that thought comes to mind all the time, like what words to speak and stuff. But we're just the extension of love. What do we choose? What do we choose? We choose. How do we choose to act that extension in our life as the person? But it's the soul who. It's, you know. Sometimes I want to think like, oh, this isn't happening. Oh, it's not happening fast enough. Then I realize maybe who doesn't like it? It's the ego, and I'm trusting. I'm doing my best to trust that, however it unfolds, it's perfect, because the I am has made it that way. I mean, I don't get other people choose their actions, but I get to choose how I react to what they do. That is my power. You know, that's a true self. And the true self only reacts out of love, but then it's the thinking self thinks like, oh, that's not right. Oh, that starts to blame or shame or do whatever, starts to think. And what does it do? It's giving meaning to what others are doing. Now, maybe it's true that some people don't choose loving actions. Now, the thing is, I can see that, but should I blame them, or, you know, I can act from that, from in response to whatever the action is. And I'm doing my best to choose love. I remember the very first moment of of going within and thinking. I thought I was just thinking, like I was at this grocery store and I was thinking, well, what should I get? What, it didn't really have a list. I didn't do that then. And I'm like, what should I get? What should I buy? And I realized I was asking for something else. I mean, it's like the real me. It's not something else, but it's something I didn't really notice. When I said, get milk, I'm like, and then thinking mind goes, milk? I, I don't, I don't drink milk. I don't eat cereal, and I don't want milk. I'm like, and then I go, okay, I'll get milk. And I went home and I didn't even know, but that was the fall, and I had squash. It was on my outside, and I went out to get it, and something had eaten the seeds out of it, had dug out the seeds. And so I'm like, oh, I need to make it was had just been done like just an hour or two before. I go, oh, I need to make pie right now. So what do I need? Milk. I need milk to make the pie. And so that just was my first experience of realizing I don't know what anything is for, but to go with the into I did it. I just got the milk, and I had the milk so I could make the pie. And it was just that was my first experience. And it was like 8 years ago. And I don't every moment, every experience, I don't ask. I don't like pause and go within and ask, how should I respond to this? But I'm doing it more and more. And is it better and better? I feel more and more peaceful. And so it's not, I don't know every moment what I'm doing, except when I feel peaceful. And so that's how you know that you're aligning with love. That's how I know I'm aligning with love. So that's what I say. Thank
Yeah. Thanks, Carla.
I'll just go ahead.
Exactly.
So Robert is talking about the miracle principles. He's doing a few every day. And so in their class today, right before this, they were talking about miracle, like a bunch of miracle principles. And it's just so obvious that the miracle principles are acts of love, and that's what God wants us to do all day long. It's do acts of love. And I think that when God is trying to get through to us and saying things like, get the milk, and or to Priscilla's husband, it's not your fault, you didn't do anything wrong, or it's like saving time to do miracles, to give acts of love, because we're not getting down on ourselves for like, oh, I didn't buy the milk, or geez, how stupid am I to get in a wreck with my bike or whatever. It saves time. I in the cameos, Jesus is always telling Helen, he's trying to save her time so that she can do miracles. And I think that is like just keeping our minds free of self-blame
Mm-hmm.
or, right there in the last paragraph, God knows his son is wholly blameless. Well, we can't blame that guy that shot that woman. It's none of our business really, except to send him love and her family love and everybody love. It's like, I don't think I could be on a jury because I'd be like, nah, I can't judge that person. So, yeah, it's just such a beautiful section. It's all God's blameless son. Never forget the sonship is your salvation. So that ice guy is our salvation.
Mm-hmm.
The sonship is your soul. That guy is my soul. It's God's creation. It's yours and belonging to you. It's his. Your soul does not need salvation, but your mind needs to learn what salvation is. You're not saved from anything, but you're saved for glory. Glory is your inheritance. I think to be miracle minded, we just would be so kind of blissed out a lot of the time. or just peaceful, like you're saying, Carl, at least feeling peace. But that glory, that part about glory in 7 also, Christ is the Son of God who lives in his creator and shines with his glory.
Mhm.
Christ is the extension of the love and loveliness of God. But then Jesus also says, ask should you do a miracle. So in that sense, I might, how they talk about how Edgar Casey tried too hard to do one miracle after another and actually burned himself out and died.
Yeah.
And so to be careful not to try to do too much, and that Jesus knows who's able to receive my miracles. I don't know, I can't deal with all that because I'm doing miracles mostly in my mind or talking to people or smiling at them or saying hi. I'm not doing Edgar Casey type miracles. But anyway, yeah, it's a lovely 2 pages for sure.
Mhm.
I really like it. And it fits right in with the whole talk about miracles. That's Robert, we did an exercise where we wrote down, what if you did miracles all day? How would you feel? What if you gave acts of love all day long? What would that feel like? Yeah, it's good. It all fits together.
Yeah.
I
And go ahead.
Oh, I just had one tiny thing. I was going from my car to there's a big meditation in the park here. It's not necessarily Course in Miracles. Anybody can lead it. And I was just bringing my chair, and then I heard this voice say, "Bring that blanket." I'm like, okay. So picked up the blanket, brought the blanket, and sure enough, my friend Jeannie showed up out of the blue. She's never come before, and she didn't have a chair, so she sat on the blanket. So instead of me going, oh, why didn't I bring that blanket? I was just like, oh God, this is nice. Here, you can sit on this blanket.
Yeah.
It's like the milk, just little tiny things so that we stay in a good frame of mind instead of blaming ourselves,
Mhm.
telling ourselves we're stupid or something.
Yeah.
Kathleen, it's really interesting to say that you cannot be part of the jury anymore because you're just loving everyone. But that has been something that has come to my mind. We have discussed it in other groups because, well, that is, if you were required to be a juror, that would be like a different form, a different level, right? It's still me working as a functional body in the 3D world. So this is what I'm thinking. Like, I guess I could still be sitting there. And maybe it's even better because now I can forgive and ask direction and not coming from fear and blame and the punish, like that
Uh-huh.
rage that will be punishing the other guy. So that's what it has because someone was telling me a story and I was like, I think we have I don't know, how is it called? Like level confusion or a confusion of levels.
Hmm.
And we're still, if you feel inspired to go and protest, like do this walk and that, let's do it. Because sometimes I get triggered, like I don't know if because I'm doing this spiritual journey, if I should even be, participating in that 3D world stuff.
Right.
And then um I think I do because now I feel inspired, but I'm doing it from love, not from fear. So I think you will be an amazing juror.
Thank God I've never had to be on a jury.
Hey, we need more of you in
I
the
don't know.
courtroom. No,
Anyway.
I have a friend that she's a judge, and actually,
Oof.
she was telling me that she was going to quit because she's doing this work very, very heavy, and she's actually a family law
Mm,
judge, and she has
that's a
to.
rough one.
She was telling me I have to split the families and see who takes the kids, and it's just too much pressure on me. But she's been doing this work, this spiritual, and I was like, I feel the other way around. You are being called to do that job because you
Yes.
do it inspire in spirit. You can, You're just not going to take your perception and your self-referenced ego beliefs and put it into that, I don't know. But yeah.
God bless her. Bless her. God bless her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always praying for everyone in our justice system, because that has to be like, especially in the States where you still have like death penalties and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That must be really something. But yeah, it's like if we because we work in a society, so my body is still incarnated and I allowed to be in this society, so I guess I can just not hide. Like when Marianne Willis Young entered into politics and everyone was criticizing her, like, why is she doing that? Why,
Yeah.
like, and then I was like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever you're called to
I'm sorry,
do.
I just
Yeah.
everywhere. But yeah, those are questions that arise. And I think it's proper to bring into these circles because this is a sacred safe space. And how are we showing up here? It's because I'm living in Brussels. I told you, I see the protest every week. Every week, everyone's striking. Every week, everyone's throwing potatoes or cow shit or whatever because it's the farmers or the other ones or the other ones. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that this country was so convoluted, like obviously it's because I'm living here in the heart of it and I'm feeling all the energy. But then I started to think like, but what if you do that inspire? I mean, it doesn't have to be rage all the time. It doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't have to, I mean, so yeah, just my
Yeah.
2 cents over there.
Yeah. We need bodhisattvas in all the industries.
Yeah, I think about the people who are in jail and the people who are taking care of the people in jail. And that's frequently like at Kirtan Kriya at night, when they're asking for prayers, that's frequently mine is to pray for the people that are in charge of the people in jail, because in some countries they're doing a really nice job of actually trying to rehabilitate and be
Yeah.
kind to people. But here there are probably still so many opportunities to be mean and cruel. So yeah, what a hotbed of opportunity to be kind, Anyway,
Miracle minded.
yeah. I'm glad I was just called to be a pediatric physical therapist.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that it would be a difficult journey to be a judge in a family court and be able to hold that space where, I mean, her job is to judge.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. We certainly need kind people doing the judging, fair people,
Yes.
wise people like Solomon.
Yeah.
Wise people. Yeah, that's my prayer actually, because she has to follow the rules that are in the little book. It's just so ask for spirit's guidance here. And because if everything is perception, can you imagine how hard it is to have to split a family and decide who takes the kids
Right.
and just reading a file because you're not really there. I
Yeah.
mean, that is kind of like, yeah, the most extreme part. So she was telling me, no, I'm quitting. And she wants to open like a beauty salon or something like that. And I was like, I mean, if that's what you feel inspired to do, go ahead. But I truly, honest believe that you are being used by spirit and that, God bless your work and everything that you're doing because
Yeah.
they had me thinking about everyone in that system. Even, like everyone, like politics, all the politicians, I've seen here a lot of lobbyists. Never in Costa Rica, we don't have any of that. And so here it's like, oh my gosh, what you do, it's an important task. And I've met lobbyists from the UN. So they come and they lobby for laws for human rights. And then a pharmacist comes, like big pharma comes also, and they also have their lobbies and they even have more money. And it's an interesting stuff how everything evolves. And I was like, I didn't know that the world was so, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
I'm praying for all of you because you have like to put the big pants.
Well,
Yeah.
here in America, it's a lot of the judges that are halting, some of Trump's extreme things that he's doing. It's more and more judges, seems like, are stepping up and saying, "Whoa, wait a minute. No, the states still get to be in charge." So they have a more of an important role right now that I see. I mean, I don't watch the news, but I do sign petitions and stuff, and I get an idea of what's going on. So, judges, it seems like judges are really doing a good job to me, stepping up and trying to halt some of the imperialism that's going on. But this is all going on in our own minds too. We're
Right.
judging, we're
That's the
being the
whole thing.
imperialists, we're being the judges, we're being the victims, we're being everything
Yeah.
in our own
Which is
minds.
funny because I have a lot of Venezuelan friends and they're loving Trump right now. They're like, oh, Mr. Trump,
Wow.
I love you.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Well,
So
I'll just say this because I know this has been a hotbed topic. None of us know what it's like to live in extreme oppression for the last 20 years
Right.
when that country before the dictator got there was
Yeah.
one of the wealthiest and most beautiful places to go and visit. And it
Hmm.
has not been that since that dictator got there. Completely bankrupted that country. Their
Yeah.
money is literally worthless right now to where they're using crypto to trade because their money is worth nothing. So all I'd say is just imagine you have what you have, and then it all just gets taken away. None of us have had that experience, not that at least that I
Right.
know. So I also have, I mean, I can name them off the top of my head, and people that were there, their families are all going back now because they couldn't be there for all of this time. So all
Wow,
I'll say
good to
is
know.
just there is so much that we don't know as
Yeah.
people living in a free, wealthy society that we don't know that those people,
Knock
which
on wood.
Priscilla's saying, her friends that are Venezuelan, every Venezuelan that I know, and I have a few friends, they're like ecstatic that this has happened.
Okay.
Are
It's a
there ulterior
miracle work
motives
for them.
to why it happened?
Miracle.
Maybe and probably. But I'd leave it at that. And Priscilla, I will echo your friend's words. The friends that I know that are Venezuelan and in surrounding countries are very happy about it.
Yep.
Cool.
My country too, because Costa Rica is next to Nicaragua,
Hmm.
and we have seen everything that has been happening there, and it's a little bit of peace and hope is growing
Mm.
again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They're
Yes.
hopeful for the first time in decades,
Oh,
in
Yes.
wow.
decades. So it's then they're saying, "Thank you, Mr. Trump." That's it.
Yeah. So we can
Hmm.
just hold the highest and best for that
Yeah.
whole.
For everyone
Yeah.
involved, like for everyone involved, because we don't know. We
Yeah.
don't
Right.
know.
They look, the previous administration put $25 million bounty on the guy. They just didn't get to him. This
Yeah.
administration did. So, I mean, and this is all factual. This isn't my opinion. Like,
Right.
they literally had press conferences where they said, Maduro, we're putting $25 million on this guy's head to get him. And this administration actually went and did it. Now, I'm not in favor of either or neither. I'm just saying that's a fact. So the fact that now it's done, yes, my experience has been Priscilla's, where the people that I know are very, very happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I just pray that it's not that we're going over there to like take over all the wealth from the people that live there. That's
Yeah.
my only concern. And anytime it comes into my mind, I say Jennifer's divine experiment prayer. Bless this
Mm,
situation. May all concerned be blessed in all areas of their life.
yeah.
Because Yeah, he is not he's not doing anything under the table. He has gone in there and said that we're taking their oil. And I'm just like, okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just praying for good things for that entire country and everybody involved.
Ditto.
And wisdom to all
Yeah.
of the people in power. That's
Yeah.
it.
I know it can happen. It can happen in an instant. Again, the collective mind can have a miraculous shift in perception in an instant. And so as long as we are holding the high watch for that and taking responsibility when the fearful thoughts pop in, then we absolutely can see a more peaceful world.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So I had a thought when we were talking about Renee Good, like I would after we're done with this, I would like to look up what is the name of that ICE agent? Because I can pray for Renee Good and her family because I know her name, but I don't know his name.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what happened to that man before.
And he needs the prayers most of all.
Yeah.
Yeah, one friend was asking her sister, she told us like prayers for my sister because her husband was a narcissist and now he's throwing this and that and that, and everyone was praying for her sister.
Yeah.
I was thinking about him.
Yeah.
Like,
did you find his name, Kathleen?
Jonathan Ross.
Thank you. So we are praying for Jonathan Ross.
And for everyone that it's in pain and because that's pain and that is their call for love, and it's so it can be so hurtful.
Yeah. So, like I said, we have no idea what his life was like before that instant. We have absolutely no idea. All we know is that was a huge cry for love from both parties. And, if it does nothing else than to bring us as a group, like just the six of us and whoever listens to this beyond us. And I know Jennifer was talking about it in her class yesterday. Instead of being like enraged and wanting justice and that kind of thing, like pray for the whole situation and everybody involved that there can be peace. Yeah. Go ahead, Carla.
Yeah, that's the challenge is whenever you're on a jury or whatever you're doing, to go, oh, I need to teach them. They want me to ask us, what are we teaching? Are we teaching love? Are we teaching fear? So maybe if you're on a jury, maybe you have to convict them because you want to, because if someone's in the prison, right, they have a lot of time on their hands. Maybe that's what they need to learn. I don't know. I don't need to know. It's to do it out of love, not out of blame, not out of like, oh, they need to teach, they need to learn. No, I want to teach them love. How can we teach love? And so to ask ourselves that question, how can I teach love? How can I show love? And then maybe we choose prison for a while so they can learn it. I mean, it's their choice. We can't make them. We can't force them to learn it. They choose to learn it, whether they learn it or not. So
Yeah.
but we give them an option to do. We give them an opportunity to do it so they can do it. And that's what we're doing. We're giving others opportunities, the same opportunities that are given to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, I've been listening, but as I've like this week, just with the events of this week, and I echo a lot of what you all shared. Is this I think a lot about the passage in the course that says um, about judgment, where Jesus says that it's not that you should not judge, it's literally that you cannot judge,
Right.
because you cannot know all things through time and space. Only God knows that. And so I've been really meditating on that a lot um, lately, and I'm really one of my intentions for the new year is to kind of double down on this non-judgment of myself and of others, because I don't know what anything is for. I do not, and I cannot. And so um yeah, there's a lot of what we said. I just pray for the highest and best. I lift up situations and people to God and trust that what needs to unfold in their lives will. And um, yeah, it's easy, right? It's like easy to judge this officer for what happened, and even, but we're putting our own interpretations on whatever is. And so I find that passage very freeing, and I've been keeping it at the forefront of my mind always, that it's not that I shouldn't, it's literally that I cannot.
Right.
And so recognizing that, and that there's only one who can. And so all I'm called to do is pray and send light and love. And I don't want to be a source of, because when we judge, we just become a conduit for um, fear, and negativity and blame and all those things. And that's not what we're called to be. And that's not what we're called to do. And so I think about that a lot, of when I fall into that place, even about myself, that's the energy I'm emitting in the world, even when it's directed at myself. And so, um, really just taking that like, if there's no other passage that we take to heart, like, just like, it's just ingrained in my mind right now, of just this: I cannot judge. So if I think I'm doing some service to the world by judging, like, I'm not, or to myself, like, I'm not, because I'm trying to do something that is literally impossible for me to do, according to what the course says. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's my 2 cents. Sorry, I'm gonna unmute and probably head off here in a minute. I'm at my max.
Yeah. I
Have a
hope you
blessed
feel
week.
better, Dana. You too.
Thanks.
Yeah. So we're blessing the world. We're holding the high watch for everyone and everything contained in the mind of God, including ourselves. And next week we will continue chapter 11, section 5, the dynamics of the ego. So that should be interesting. I'm just going to read a
Can I
little
say
bit.
one thing for you today?
Okay.
All this stuff looks one way. It looks like a cold you had, then it looks like something's happening, things that happen in the world. It's never what we believe, because you believe more in what you don't see, which is love, right? Than what you
Yeah.
do see. So I know this. This is coming up, something within you, Dana, is coming up for healing right now. And that's what's happening. It's not this bad, you cough a cold, you can't breathe or whatever. It's not bad. It's a blessing. It's love. And it's the healing is loving you through that cold. It doesn't feel very loving sometimes, but that's what it is. It's only love, because everything is only God. So it can only be coming up for, it's only becoming God. I don't know. It's just, I just wanted to share that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Carla. Yeah, I'm just going to read a little bit from our lesson today because it's perfect for what we were just talking about. A meaningless world engenders fear. And so, yeah, I'm just going to read it. Today's idea is really another form of the preceding one, except that it is more specific as to the emotion aroused. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. Nothing without meaning exists. However, it does not follow. Where'd you go? That you will not think you perceive something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think you do perceive it. Recognition of meaninglessness arouses intense anxiety in all the separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that meaninglessness provides. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own impotence and unreality. And on this alone, it is correct. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices, as they must also be to you who equate yourself with the ego. And then he goes into the lesson. So I won't go ahead and read how we're supposed to do the lesson. We all know how we're supposed to do our lessons. We're just doing them. We don't have to make any meaning of them because it's easier when we keep it basic. Simple. Thank you, everybody, so much. I'll see y'all next week. Have a good one. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you. Thank you.